Good morning, everybody. This is Chris Green at Outdoor Power Tech. Got a 5 horsepower Briggs Stratton here. A gentleman brought me for an older project he's working on. When I'm having some downtimes, he usually brings old tractors and stuff over for me to redo the motors for, get them up and running for him. Here's an old wheel horse right here I'm working on for him. Just going to go through the motor for him. Isn't that old of a motor, but it's smoking real bad. Probably just gonna have to replace the piston rings on it. But this video is gonna be a couple part video. I'm just gonna go through a little bit of stuff on this motor to break down and just simple stuff. I'm gonna do a full, not a full rebuild. I'm gonna test if it has good compression and everything, and no oil leaking past the rings. I'm not going to do a full rebuild on it. He wants it gone through, running good, looking halfway decent, to put on an older tractor that he's working on. It's actually a tractor. It's a ride behind. I'll have to show you some videos after it's done, but it's just a Briggs Stratton motor on front of it. The model that he has was built in the 30s, and it has an older Briggs Stratton. I think it's an S1 motor on it with a gearbox that runs the 2 front wheels, and then a plow goes behind it, I believe, behind it, or oh yeah, behind it, that's correct. But the plow's off of it, and he has a trolley behind it now, and he's wanting to see if this 5 horsepower Briggs Stratton will mount up to that gearbox. So I'm gonna go through this. The motor that he does have, it's older. I'll show you some pictures of it at the end of the video, but it has a gearbox on it. Let's turn the motor around so you can see right here, and it has the same bolt hole pattern right here. And I'm thinking, I measured it out, the bolt hole pattern is exactly the same. I haven't pulled a gearbox off the old one yet, but if it matches up, if the shaft matches up, then we should be good to go. He should be in good shape. But this is going to be just a tear down on this older Briggs Stratton, 5 horsepower. Doesn't matter what you mount it to. This is just a tear down and walk through of it to get it up and running. When you looking up parts on these older ones, your model number is, let me grab me a screwdriver right here. What you're going to want to do is take off this breather right here. You don't have to if you have a flashlight, but it'll make it easier for you. Take off your breather, and your model number, I'm gonna get light here. Your model number will be on the side right there. You should see where it says model. Let me clean that up a little bit so we can see it a little better. This steel brush. Sometimes you gotta wipe your hand across it to get some oils down in it for it to show up. Let's see if we can get a better picture. See, this model is a 131232. I think that's right. 131232, type 203601. That's the model and type number that you're going to want to look for whenever you looking at the parts on this. But I'm going to go ahead and do a compression test on this, just to make sure I don't have to do a full rebuild on it. I will show you something here. You can look on forums everywhere on the internet, and you'll have people saying on these Briggs Stratton motors, there's a certain PSI. It has to be anything under that. It won't run. Most of them are saying under 60 PSI. It won't run at all. These older motors, they'll run with a compression as low as 35 PSI. And what a general thumb is, you're going to want this to be in the lower 90s to like 120 PSI in my opinion, would be great. And of course, you could shave the heads down and get even better compression if you go and be modifying it and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you what the Briggs & Stratton repair manual shows on this, and I'll just show you. It is by Briggs & Stratton Corporation, and this is what they say. Briggs & Stratton does not publish compression pressures as it is extremely difficult to obtain an accurate reading without special equipment. It has been determined through extensive testing a simple and accurate indication of compression can be made as follows. Spin the flywheel counterclockwise against the compression stroke. A sharp rebound indicates satisfactory compression. Slight or no rebound indicates poor compression. And this is straight from the Briggs & Stratton repair manual for this model. It covers a bunch of models on these older ones. I got this on eBay. It was about 20-30 bucks. Of course, because they don't make this book no more. But anyways, that's their recommended way of testing compression on these older motors. I am going to do a compression test though, just to satisfy myself, and we'll see what it says. And the first thing you're going to want to do, pull your spark plug wire off. Pull your spark plug off. One thing I'm going to want to check for is, see, there's just oil on the spark plug, and there's very little oil on the spark plug. What I got here is just a standard compression tester, and we're going to test this compression right now ourselves. Y'all probably can't see that from here, but I'm going to zoom y'all in. What you're going to want to do is pull 3 times. Yep. I'll pull one more. There we go. I'd say it has good compression. Let's look at it together. The compression test is showing 90. That's perfect. And now I'm going, if you don't have a compression test, I'm going to show you what the manual was saying. The repair manual. And I apologize, I do need to get a new camera. Okay. To take the flywheel off, we're going to need, I'm going to go ahead and throw that spark plug away. We're going to need a 7/16. You have a bolt right here on this side. You know what, I'm going to just show you. We have a bolt right there. There's going to be a bolt right here on the top. Do an angle right here. These are your head bolts. This is for your front cover. Then we got another one. I don't know if you can see it underneath there. On this side, directly opposite of the other side. Like I said, 7/16. Jeez. And I I'm going to get me a tray. To keep everything in. Okay, now we're going to get the top one. Yeah, you can tilt the motor on the side. Not gonna work now. We're gonna be a slight rebuild on this anyway, so it ain't gonna hurt nothing to turn it on the side like that. Then the cover should pull straight off. Keep all your parts together. Alright. If this is your first time tearing apart a motor like this, I'm going to go over a few things with you here. This is your flywheel. This is your flywheel. And what it does is it has, well, of course it's hooked to your crank and piston rings. But what it has is a magnet right here. And this is your coil pack. And what it does is when this magnet comes past this coils, the coils picks up the magnetic charge, which then turns it into a spark for your spark plug. We'll get in all that and check in it here. Might put the cover back on here in a second though. But yeah, we will. I want to show you what the manual said, the repair manual said for this. Let's put the spark plug back in. I don't think it's going to matter. I just grabbed a spark plug. It probably will matter. I don't know why I said that. It says to turn it counterclockwise. Be careful not to get your finger stuck in here and hit any of this because it will hurt you. It says turn counterclockwise, and if it kicks back, this is per the manual, then it says you have sufficient compression. Let's get to where the compression stroke is. It has kickback. And it has good kickback. I'm going to try to turn it by hand past that. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Get back to the compression side. Yep. Kickback. If it kicks back like that, just turn it and let go. And if it kicks back, the manual says you have sufficient compression if you want to get it to run. And I done tested it. We saw what the compression is on it. It has plenty enough to be a good running motor. So now I'm going to put that cover back on and let's test for spark. I should have did that before. Let's see, I might be able to just turn it by hand and test for spark. One thing you're going to want to check, let's see here. I don't see the keel wire anywhere. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's put the cover back on. Should be able to do this without having to. Oh yeah, we got good spark. I'm going to see if I can get y'all zoomed in on this. Come on, little buddy. Turn that light off. of y'all saw that. It's hard to hit one hand. It's got good compression, good spark. Okay, we got that taken care of. So we know we got good compression. We know it has spark. So now I'm going to just start tearing some stuff off of it. We're gonna pull the coil pack off now, and most of the time they're 5/16. After we install it back on, I'll go over the correct air gap. I'm curious if this is off. It shouldn't be runoff points. It didn't matter a little there. You never know though. Might be. Nope. Okay. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have points. I thought it did at first. Cause I'll show you. I thought somebody had put a converted coil pack on it. And I'll show you why. See, these things used to have, the older ones had a plate behind here that had points that open and close. As this shaft, as your shaft spins right here, there's what they call a plunger inside on the crank. And there's a little knob on the crank. And when it got to that knob, it pushed this little plunger up. And it would make 2 points connect. I'll show you the points. Let's see here. This off a cup cadet. They're the same exact points. Not exactly the same, but same, works the same exact way. That plunger, this would be open up, and when your crank got around to when it needed to spark, this would close the circuit and cause a spark to go through. It'd be like super fast. And you'd have to set that air gap to be open all the time till that plunger hit and cause a spark. Okay. I don't remember what year it was, but when they started doing wave points, they come out with a magneto that you could stick on, or converter packs. Before they come out with the ones I'm about to show you here in a minute. But you see that and that. This is one of the magnetos during that time, I believe. I may be wrong, but this is not your standard magneto that they went to a couple years after they got rid of points. This is a modified one from either Briggs Stratton or somebody did this themselves. It doesn't look like somebody did this themselves. But you see this piece that's clipped on there. You could buy this back then, this little clip, and the resistors and stuff that's inside it. that will convert it over to a regular magneto that didn't require points. Then, when they started making these motors all the time without points, you have this. It's all built inside, everything required to make it spark. That's why at first I was like, well, this might have been ran off points, but it's when they went to the no points. This system was built with no points, and they still, Briggs Stratton had to get rid of these coils that they were putting on before they came out with the newer ones, my thought. Because this motor does not have points and this coil pack's on there. So this either OEM, they was just using up stock until they ran out to do the newer ones, or somebody changed the coil out on this one time and they had one of these older ones. Okay, enough of that. Alright, let's see here. Like I said, I'm not going to do too much into this because I'm not pulling it apart completely. Okay, let's pull. This is 1/4 inch. It's just 2 on here. Okay, we're going to pull this clutch off here. They make a special tool for this. I have every tool there is to rebuild these motors. I have original Briggs Stratton spring compressors. I do not have a tool to get this off because here in 2019 they want like 80 bucks for a tool. So what you can do is on these lobes right here, this lobe right here, you want to use a hammer like this, a rubber hammer, or I've done this before too. You can put a piece of wood on it and hit the piece of wood. You don't want to hit it with metal. We'll see how hard this is going to get off. Yep, she's going to be hard to get off. I've also done this method right here. I know this is right tight. Lefty loosey. There we go. Alright. But like I said, you never want to hit those with metal. It's not going to be the end of the world. But what this is your spring recoil goes in this, and it only lets it turn clockwise to start your motor. Then once the motor's turned spinning, it spins freely like that. And we'll soak that in my parts washer. I just use kerosene in my parts washer. It cleans stuff better. It's not as hard on stuff as some of this newer stuff. see how many more minutes we have. 2 minutes left. Okay. That's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. The next video, we'll pop the flywheel off. We'll get into taking the gas tank off in the carburetor. But I hope y'all will like this. I'm trying to show you everything possible. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos on these rebuilds just over the years, just watching them for fun. And they just fly through it, and you really can't see everything, especially when it gets to the linkages and stuff like that. But hope y'all have a blessed day. Till next time, we'll see you.